Introduce you to the next speaker, Angelo Delatin, who graduated in Padova University with a thesis comparison between horses training techniques and the psychology of learning. He's also a fellow of the British Horse Society and the director of the equine studies at Delaware Valley College. And he started a horse behavior training research center, and he's going to talk about the use of the investigative behavior to improve the training of the jumping horse. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much. So we will talk today about the use of the investigative behavior to improve the training of the short jumping horse. A little bit of background. Late 80s, early 90s, I was completing my instructor certificate and my young horse training certificate with the Italian Federation. During the same time, I was looking for a thesis in the Padova University, and Professor Zanforlin of animal psychology thought to capitalize on my industry experience and give me a thesis, which is comparison between horse training techniques and the psychology of learning. 4 concepts start getting my attention. One was obviously that training is mostly, the riding training is mostly negative reinforcement based. Industry practice, many trainers perceive that, or riders perceive that the slowing down or stopping to a forward motion of a horse towards a new object or a fence as an insubordination to the aids, and therefore intensified the aids in the attempt to resume forward motion, submission. Most of the time, intensified pressure of a horse in a state of mind of alert towards a potential danger will elicit a fight or flight reaction. At which point, the horse quickly learned that a manageable behavior stopped negative reinforcement, which is normally what we don't want. Another concept, another topic that start getting, that video is not going. There you go. The sequence of investigative behavior, which would go with the normal horse relaxed, then eye and ears will detect the stationary object, stop of the forward motion, and then resume of the telescopic movement of the neck with the smell investigation movement towards the object, and then final investigation towards with the tactile sense, using the lips and sometimes pawing the object. We'll get there. Okay. And usually when a horse has completed this investigation, when the horse has completed that investigation, with the tactile sense is sort of the last one for a horse who has completed his investigation. The other concept that was reading and studying was generalization, and I thought, a jump is made of colors, but it's made of smell, and it's made of consistency, and those ones tend to remain steady, smells and consistency, because it's wood, it's plastic, and so they're my hypothesis. What if I allowed horses to perform investigative behavior using all their senses and without a time limit? Will that make a better assessment? Will they be able to make a better assessment of the new jump, which will lead them to generalize their experience up to the point that the time spent investigating the new fence will not compromise the jump of it? So I decided to do a case study approach and not have control samples, because I felt that it was unethical to purposely overpressure a control sample. However, the study was done along several years to have a good number of horses, and unconventionally I still keep doing it, meaning I tell riders and students how to do it, and we will see in a second, but I don't completely measure, but I watch the performance of the horses improving in any case. So 50 horses entered the studies, age range between 3 and 15. I consider 2 age group. I was reading about younger horses versus older horses, and empirical things that I used to say to owners that were giving me the horse. They would always ask, how much does it take, and will you be able to fix it? And I used to have that 8 years old in my mind, as I would used to say, if it's below 8, I'll be able to do something. If it's above 8, things getting tougher. So I wanted to take this one into considerations. So 15 horses were 8 or younger, and 15 horses were 8 or older. How did I select them? 7 horses were completely started with this training method, meaning they were allowed to use the investigative behavior without time limits since from the beginning. The other 43 horses were observed to have stopping to new fences. Normally that would be your average horse that jumped a confident fence. The same horse will enter in a stopping behavior as soon as you introduce a new fence or fence that they may have some problems. Training protocol. So at the first sign of alert posture, the riders, the aids were maintained but not intensified, and then all flight reactions were blocked. But at that point, the horse was allowed to investigate the jump without a time limit. Without time limit, I mean that certain horses were learned so severely fight reaction that they were refusing to enter into a investigative behavior with a telescopic movement. So I would have to jump down in cases and help them to start the whole sequence, which means stretching the neck, using the telescopic movement, smelling and touching the jumps. And then redo it under saddle. Some horses needed, even that one wasn't enough, so needed an older horse to remind them that it's okay to start the investigative behavior with having the older horse in front of them. Okay, same thing, the sequence was the horse. The important things that I was focusing was allowing the horse to use the telescopic movement of the neck to bring the nostril forward and start the smell and tactile investigation. Training protocol. At the end of the investigative behavior sequence, the jump was reattempted, and the horse was allowed to use the neck into a telescopic movement before of the fence. As a behavior evaluation, I decided to stay as much as close to horse showing because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to help trainer and give trainer like more data that they can relate. So the training test was the horse was supposed to start performing clear runs at horse shows. The average time that I used was 6 months, not because I believe in the 6 months, but that was the average time that an owner will let you the horse there and they'll say, okay, you're done enough or you didn't do enough. Or if the horse would have improved, that's the average time that the owner decided to sell the horse or start riding himself the horse if the horse was going well. This is a bridleless horse that is showing what happened is, this is what happened and this is what I codified. So this is a bridleless horse that is showing that has learned the first step. The first step was, will they be able to keep doing it to speeding up? So this is a horse that is approaching a new fence and is moving from alert behavior, telescopic movement, smell, and then tactile, all in one sequence without having any more the stopping of the forward motion. At that point, when the horse had reached that level, I would approach the new fence at this time at the trot or the canter, and then usually the average horse would maintain the forward motion, still need a strong investigative behavior for the fence, so the telescopic nap was allowed, the horse was allowed to use the telescopic nap movement, but still retain a lot of investigative need on top of the fence for jumping. And then finally, the third phase, again, a comparison between bridleless and with the bridle. The same horse is showing that my goal was under saddle trying to replicate what the horse would do, would feel to do bridleless. So same thing. This time the investigative behavior is reduced in the last few strides before the fence. And so we go from alert behavior to telescopic movement of the neck. But at this time, the investigation is ending and the takeoff. And the jump is, the horse doesn't have any more investigative behavior over the fence. I didn't put the pie, it would be like completely one pie except for one horse, meaning all 8-year horses performed the behavioral test except one. So what I put is the month. We did the 6 month that the horses were like either performing, it took them. The average is between, like, I would say 4 months, if I put a little bit of the 3 and a little bit of the 3 and 4. So 4 months, and now I'm not completely sure that this is the learning time as much as it could be more related to like the whole readjustment of the balance and the muscular of the horse. So I ran the data into the K-square test and they reject the null hypothesis. For the 8 years old and older horses, the results were like different. 5 horses did perform. Most of the horses improved tremendously at home, but were not able to perform outside. 4 horses, I was never able to even perform at home. Like they were consistently showing strong arrest, stop of doing the investigative behavior. 2 minutes. Oh, okay, fast. Okay, I have only 2 slides left. Conclusion. I ran because I thought I was going off time. Consistent with some of the latest studies that are showing that investigative behavior is correlated with an emotional state of mind of the horse, I can conclude that the use of the investigative behavior as a form of training improve the jumping ability of the horse. If not improve, you could say that it's a more humane way. There is a humane way to train show jumper without overpressuring them. That's it. I'm done. Thank you. Questions?
Question on the back there. And then there is a second one far
Thank you.
up on the right afterwards.
Thank you, Susan from Denmark. Very interesting. Janne Winter was talking earlier about a little bit of stress and stress preventing horses from learning. It seems that the investigative behavior in this context would be what you could say a biologically relevant behavior in regards to a stressor, which the scary jump would be. So do you think that maybe allowing the horse to perform the behavior reduces the stress level so that the horse is then more susceptible to actually learning the task that you want to teach it to jump the jump?
Yeah, I thought about that. I was racing, so I didn't say one thing. Some of the horses, I actually added the positive reinforcement at the end of the investigative behavior. Those horses, I followed them after the years. Those horses still now, when you're riding them, and it's not your purpose to go and investigate the object, so you're riding, they see something that spooks them, they actually turn right away and go for the investigative behavior for the new things, even if I'm not asking it, because A, they're comfortable with it, so yes, that's probably, I think that's answered your questions. And also, I understand what you're saying. So my problem was trying to codify something the trainer could use, and it makes sense to them, and it's consistent, and it's repeatable. Some of the horses in this experiment were just one-time horses. A trainer would call me. They would be overpressuring a horse over a fence. The horse would learn where the people with the whip and the ground were, and would start stopping more and more. And then they would ask me, okay, scientist, tell me what to do. And then I would lay down the whole sequence, so they would reluctantly start it. And then after one horse, after I think 15 minutes, disappeared completely in the stopping behavior and kept going, performing with no problems.
Hello, Heidi Janaki from the UK. You chose a cut-off point of 8 years, and I was wondering, those few horses in the younger group that wouldn't train, and the few in the older group that did train, were they close to those 8 years, or were they completely random?
No, actually, the one that did not perform was a 4-year-old, and the other one, the horses that did not perform were random. It wasn't more, I don't think it's more an age factor, but it's how much the fight reaction has been ingrained, meaning the extinction burst of that behavior was so high that lowering the pressure of the jump was not allowing the horse to shift into a new behavior. I don't know if I explain myself. Versus the younger horses, the fight reaction was not that ingrained, so as soon as I lowered the pressure coming from the novel fence, that was enough for them to choose to go into the new behavior and not performing the old one. So I didn't reprimand the old one, I just lowered the pressure from the new one.
I'm afraid maximum allowed time has been reached, so if you want to continue discussing this subject, you can do it during lunchtime. So thank you very much.